the dim twilight of the ancient forest, where shadows twisted like forgotten secrets, and the air hung heavy with the scent of damp earth and fear, 8-year-old Lily huddled against a gnarled oak tree, her small body racked with sobs. Her tiny hands clutched a frayed doll, the only companion in her vast loneliness, as the last rays of sun slipped away, leaving her utterly, terrifyingly alone, lost, with no path home, and the encroaching darkness whispering that she might never see her broken family again. Lily's world had always been a patchwork of fragile hopes stitched together with threads of hardship. Born into a ramshackle cabin on the edge of Willowbrook Village, she was the only light in her father Tom's weary eyes, or so he used to say before the grief swallowed him whole. Her mother, Eliza, had passed 2 winters ago, taken by a fever that the village doctor couldn't afford to treat properly. Poverty had gripped their home like a vice. Tom's days blurred into nights at the local mill, his evenings drowned in cheap whiskey to numb the ache of abandonment. Not just Eliza's death, but his own childhood scars from a father who vanished without a word. Lily, with her wild chestnut curls and eyes like storm-tossed seas, learned early to navigate the silence. She scavenged berries from the woods for meals, mended her threadbare dresses with clumsy stitches, and dreamed of a life where kindness wasn't a luxury, but a given. That fateful autumn afternoon, the family outing was meant to be a rare spark of normalcy. Tom, nursing a hangover, had promised Lily a walk to the river for fishing, a feeble attempt to bridge the chasm grief had carved between them. But as they ventured deeper into the forest's embrace, Tom's temper frayed. A misplaced tackle box led to shouts, and in a haze of confusion, Lily wandered off, chasing a butterfly's iridescent wings. Hours blurred into panic. The trees, once playful giants in her games, now loomed as indifferent sentinels. Thorns snagged her dress, mud caked her bare feet, and hunger gnawed at her belly like an unwelcome guest. "Papa!" she cried, but the echo mocked her solitude. As dusk deepened, Lily collapsed beside a mossy log, her doll pressed to her chest. Isolation wrapped around her tighter than any blanket. She felt invisible, just like the wildflowers trampled underfoot. Tears carved paths down her dirt-streaked cheeks. In her pocket, she fingered the last remnant of home, a crust of bread from breakfast, saved for later. But despair whispered it was pointless. That's when she heard it, a faint, pitiful whimper, like the wind mourning through leaves. Peering through the underbrush, Lily spotted a small creature, a fox pup, no bigger than her doll, tangled in a hunter's snare. Its russet fur was matted with blood from a gash on its leg, and its wide, amber eyes gleamed with terror and pain. The pup thrashed weakly, its cries piercing Lily's heart. In the village tales, foxes were sly tricksters, but this one was just a baby, alone and suffering, much like her. Fear rooted her in place. Wild animals could bite, and she was already so vulnerable. Yet, something stirred within her, a flicker of the compassion her mother had taught. "Kindness, my love, is the light that finds us in the dark." Trembling, Lily approached. The pup froze, its breaths ragged. She tore a strip from her already torn scarf, the one Eliza had knitted, and gently wrapped the wound, whispering, "It's okay, little one. Mama's not here, but I'll help." With dirt-smeared fingers, she freed the snare's rusty jaws, her small hands aching from the effort. The pup yelped but didn't flee. Instead, it nuzzled her palm, as if understanding. Lily's stomach growled fiercely, but she broke her bread crust in half, offering the larger piece to the pup. "You need it more," she said, her voice cracking with unexpected tenderness. The fox pup devoured it gratefully, then licked her fingers clean. In that moment, amid the forest's indifferent symphony of rustling leaves and distant owl hoots, Lily felt a shift. The act wasn't grand, no heroes or miracles, but it anchored her. For the first time since getting lost, hope flickered. The pup, whom she named Rusty for his fur, limped beside her as she stood, determined to find a way out. They moved together through the twilight, Lily's isolation easing with each shared step. She talked to Rusty about her mother, her father's distant gaze, the village kids who shunned her ragged clothes. "Maybe we're both lost," she murmured, "but together, we're not so alone." Night fell fully, stars pricking the canopy like hesitant promises. Lily's legs burned, and doubt crept back. Would this kindness be enough? Rusty's wound slowed them, but his presence was a quiet companionship, a reminder that even in despair, giving could mend the unseen fractures of the soul. As they crested a ridge, a faint glow pierced the darkness, a cabin's window, warm and inviting. Hope swelled in Lily's chest, fragile but real. Little did she know, her small act had set in motion a chain of compassion that would illuminate paths she never imagined. The cabin's light was a beacon in the enveloping night, drawing Lily and Rusty forward like moths to a flame. Her heart pounded with a mix of exhaustion and tentative relief. The forest's grip seemed to loosen with every step. Rusty limped ahead, his nose twitching toward the scent of safety. Lily's mind raced. Would whoever lived there help a dirty, lost child? Or see only a stranger's burden? Poverty had taught her suspicion. The village folk often turned away beggars at their doors. Yet, the memory of sharing her bread steadied her. Kindness, she realized, was a seed that could grow in barren soil. As they neared, the door creaked open before she could knock. A woman emerged, her silver hair tied in a loose bun, face etched with lines of quiet sorrow. Alara was in her 60s, a widow who had retreated to the woods after losing her daughter to the same fever that claimed Eliza years ago. Grief had isolated her, turning the once vibrant herbalist into a shadow, tending her garden in solitude. The village whispered of her as the forest witch, fearing her knowledge of roots and remedies. Alara's days blurred in loneliness, her nights haunted by what-ifs. If only she'd shared more, loved fiercer. "Who's there?" Alara called, her voice rough from disuse. Her eyes widened at the sight, a trembling girl clutching a doll, and a wounded fox pup at her heels. Lily froze, words tangling in her throat. I'm lost," she stammered. "This is Rusty. He was hurt, so I helped him. Please, ma'am, can you?" Alara's gaze softened on the pup's bandaged leg. The scarf's knit was familiar, like Eliza's work from market days long past. Suspicion melted into compassion. The girl's dirty face mirrored her own daughter's at that age, wide-eyed and brave. "Come in, child," Alara said, ushering them inside. The cabin was warm, filled with the scent of chamomile tea and drying herbs. She knelt to examine Rusty, her hands gentle. "You've done well wrapping this. Most would run from a fox." Lily blushed, settling by the fire. As Alara cleaned Rusty's wound with salves, the girl poured out her story, the outing gone wrong, her father's struggles, the ache of missing her mother. Words flowed like a dam breaking, grief she'd bottled for so long. Alara listened, her own tears welling. "I lost my girl to fever," she confessed. "Named her Lily, after the flower that blooms in shadows. I shut the world out, thinking solitude was safety. But seeing you with this pup, your kindness, sharing when you had nothing, it reminds me of what I forgot." They shared a simple meal, stew from Alara's garden, bread she baked. Lily's hunger eased, but more than that, the warmth of connection filled her. Rusty curled at her feet, healed and content. As dawn broke, Alara rigged a lantern and led Lily back toward the village path, Rusty trotting alongside. "Kindness circles back," Alara said, her voice stronger. "You saved that pup, and in turn, he led you to me. Now, let me help you home." The journey revealed more. Alara spoke of her isolation, how grief had walled her heart. Lily's story cracked those walls. The girl's empathy sparked Alara's resolve to return to the village, perhaps offer her healing skills to those in need. When they reached the river's edge, Tom's frantic searches echoed through the trees. He rushed forward, enveloping Lily in a tearful embrace, his first sober show of love in months. "I thought I'd lost you too," he sobbed, vowing change. In the days that followed, the circle completed unexpectedly. Alara visited, her herbs easing Tom's withdrawal pains. Lily bridged them, her act with Rusty inspiring Tom to seek work steadier, to mend his abandonment's wounds. Alara, no longer isolated, opened her cabin to village children, teaching remedies and stories of compassion. Lily thrived, her doll now joined by new friends, her isolation fading into belonging. Through struggle's thorns, poverty's bite, grief's shadow, the forest's terror, hope bloomed from one small deed. Kindness, Lily learned, wasn't fleeting, it wove lives together, transforming pain into purpose. In the quiet moments, watching Rusty play in the woods, she felt whole, knowing her heart had saved not just a life, but many. In a world shadowed by loss and loneliness, let us remember that a single act of kindness can illuminate the darkest paths, forging unbreakable bonds of empathy and love that remind us of our shared humanity, proving that even the smallest light can guide us home. Moral of the story: in the face of despair, a simple act of kindness not only mends the broken but returns to heal the giver, showing that compassion is the truest path to salvation.